DocTalk is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.
Hey folks, Dr. Dan from DocTalk here. I'm really glad you joined us today. We're going to talk about steroid implants. We're going to talk about why we use them. We're going to talk about how to put them in the cow. We're going to talk about how to check your work after it's been done and the importance of doing the job right. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you here after these messages.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome to DocTalk. Dr. Dan here, Kansas State University. We're down here in the clinics of the veterinary college, and we're going to use a bovine here to demonstrate implant techniques. But before we get started, one of the things I want to just let's talk about steroid implants, what the compounds are, why we use them, and their safety. First of all, the compounds that are utilized in steroid implants are estrogen, progesterone, and trenbolone acetate. Estrogen and progesterone are both female reproductive hormones that cows, people produce daily, okay? The next steroid implant is trenbolone acetate, and that product is an analog of testosterone. That analog has more affinity for testosterone receptors than testosterone itself. And so it's a synthetic compound that's used in these steroid implants to promote growth. When we look at the size or the amount that we utilize of an estrogenic implant, and we'll show you a little bit here of what these implants look like, but for an 800 to 1,000 pound animal, the estrogen progesterone pellet that we put subcutaneously underneath the ear is about the size of an Advil, 200 milligrams, that we put in an 800 to 1,000 pound animal for a 150-day period. For me, an Advil lasts 4 to 6 hours. For the bovine, this 200 milligram product will last 150 days. What does it do for the producer? What does it do for growth and performance? The big thing about improving growth and performance is that we increase average daily gain by 15 to 20% with a slight increase in dry matter intake, but we get a great improvement in our feed efficiency of 15 to 20% feed efficiency improvement, which decreases the amount of feed needed to produce a pound of gain, which gives us a return on investment per steroid implant within the beef industry for the producer of somewhere from $40 to $60 per steroid implant utilized. It really is a great management tool, both biologically and economically, for us to use within the industry. Now, one of the questions that we get in natural and organic versus conventionally raised product, with conventionally raised product getting steroid implants and the natural and organics not, it costs us around $200 more per head to raise an animal with no steroid implant in a natural program relative to conventional, and it costs us nearly $400 to $600 more to produce an organically raised animal relative to a conventionally raised animal. Another question we get a lot of times about steroid implants from consumers is about the safety. And you see no hormones added, whether it's poultry or other products, and really advertising against the use of steroid implants for this improved feed efficiency. Well, when you take a look at this table that my good friend Dr. Dan Loy up at Iowa State produced, you can see that when you look at soy flour defatted or tofu or other products, when we look at the estrogenic activity in a steak from a steroid implanted animal relative to the steak from a non-implanted animal, an 8-ounce steak here, the difference is 3 versus 2 nanograms of estrogenic activity. Now, on the news, you're going to see that there was an increase of estrogenic activity by 150%, and they'd be absolutely right. The difference is they aren't telling you that it's just a difference of 1 nanogram. How big's a nanogram? A nanogram per kilogram is equivalent to a blade of grass on a football field. These products are safe. They've been used since the 1950s, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about how to properly administer these products and how to check your work and why we use these. Thanks for watching Doc Talk, and we'll be back after these messages.
The BQA Tip of the Day, sponsored by Beringer Engelheim Vetmedica Inc.
I'm Dr. Kip Lukasevich with Production Animal Consultation. Today's BQA Tip of the Day is bud box facilities. We're at a feed yard today that has a bud box. It's becoming more and more popular. The advantage of the bud box is that it's a facility that has open sides. Has one solid side, which is the gate, which they come in through. But it takes advantage of cattle's natural behavior in that cattle like to see what's pressuring them, and they like to return where they came from. And so the way our alley is set up is so that the cattle come into the box first, and they make a turn, and they come back around, and then they go right down into the double feed alley, and they go straight, which cattle prefer. The advantage of the bud box is that if we have one that is giving us problems going into the alley, and sometimes that happens, we have a gate here that we can swing and bring around to narrow that up and have him go in. And if we have one that is kind of ornery and doesn't want to cooperate with us that way, we can easily come through here and come through the gate and work from the outside. And if we need to, we can have a flag or something that we can utilize to work from the outside and have the cattle come in as well. Both ways work really well, and that's how you stay safe working in a bud box.
Say this is a calf that's been run through the chute a few too many times. Going through the chute stresses cattle, causing them not to eat like they should. Luckily, Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ provides proven protection against key respiratory diseases in a single shot, with just one trip through the chute. Talk to your veterinarian about Pyramid 5 plus Presponse SQ, and soon your calves will relax and eat like a whole different animal.
Do your cattle struggle with pink eye, BRD, or another disease? Contact Newport Laboratories for a customized solution. Our custom-made vaccines are produced using the specific diseases found in your area. These USDA licensed vaccines offer potential cost savings on vaccine and labor. Contact your veterinarian or Newport Laboratories the next time your cattle are in need of a custom solution. Newport Laboratories custom-made vaccine, because every situation is different.
This segment brought to you by the new Hired Hand Portable Cow Sprayer. For more information, visit cowsprayer.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan here, and I've got my trusty assistant, old Bossy, and we're going to talk about how to administer steroid implants so that we make sure that we get, when we start to think about a $50 return on investment per animal going through the chute, it doesn't take too many animals going through that chute to figure out, hey, we need to be doing a good job. And the big thing is we want to prevent getting abscesses within the steroid implant. So the first thing you're going to do is check your equipment. And when you have an implant gun, some of the things that you want to check is you want to make sure that you don't have barbs on your needle. And make sure that we use good sharp needles to administer these products, and they're easy to exchange. You want to make sure these are in good working order, and you want to make sure that the steroid implants are not outdated. Those are some big checklist things that you do. But that barb on the end of the needle is what I want to make sure first and foremost as I'm looking at this. Now, depending on which hand you're going to use will also depend on which way you're going to put the bevel of the needle. If you're right-handed and you're going to have your right hand on top, you're going to want the bevel of the needle, the opening of the bevel of the needle pointed up, because you want to be able to thread this needle just underneath the skin, underneath the sub-Q, to run the needle across, and then as you pull the trigger, be able to pinch that off and make sure that that steroid implant stays where it is that you want to do. So I adjust the bevel of the needle. I like the bevel to be up. Some people like the bevel to be down. That's just my personal preference as I slide that in at an angle underneath the sub-Q. So that's what I'm going to do with the implant gun. Some of the things you're going to want around the chute, I like to have a butter knife. I like to have a scrub brush, and you can have a scrub brush on a handle or a short brush like this. And then of course we're going to have a sponge for the needle. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the ear of the animal that I'm going to implant. Now, if you're in a hurry and you're doing a lot of animals, the first thing you're probably going to do when cattle come into your facility is you're going to take the ear tags out. When you take the ear tags out, that'll expose this ear. But this animal here has an ear tag in the left ear, but the ear tag, the RID tag, is in the right ear, so I would probably switch and use the right ear to put my steroid implant. There's two basic places that we want to make sure that we're going to put the steroid implant. We want to put the implant in the back of the ear, and I'll explain this. The back, middle 1/3, just below the ridge line. Now some people will put, if there's an ear tag in both ears, put the steroid implant on the top ridge. When we put the implant on the top ridge, there's sometimes an opportunity that those animals will rub that implant out with the cable and the feed bungs. So putting that implant in the middle 1/3. Now, if I have a dry ear that has dirt on it, I will use the butter knife to just uncrust some of that dirt or debris on the top of the ear. If you have a caked ear, one with mud, then you're going to use the scrub brush with the chlorhexidine solution, and you're going to scrub that ear and get as much of the debris off of the dirty ear as possible. This ear is clean as a whistle, but those are the two things. The reason why I use that butter knife or why I use that scrub brush, is so that we can make sure that when we do this, that we're getting that off. The other thing that's very important is keeping our needles clean. And between the uses, we're going to use this sponge and chlorhexidine. A lot of times you can use the implant trays, and you can get rid of the debris off of your needle so that you make sure that you don't have a problem. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about administration of steroid implants. You're watching DocTalk, and I hope that you come back after these messages.
Some call it a come from behind victory, an unlikely win, a reversal of fortune, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. This is our moment, our victory dance, because we choose confidence. We choose Zuprevo for BRD treatment. Ask your veterinarian to prescribe Zuprevo. Zuprevo is a fast-acting, long-lasting BRD treatment that you can count on to get the job done. Choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
It takes vision, dedication, hard work. It takes knowing who you can trust. At Zinpro Corporation, we have more industry-endorsed research behind our trace minerals than any other company. Proof that our patented performance minerals help improve overall animal health and performance. Lots of companies make claims. At Zinpro, we generate results.
If my calves start healthy and stay healthy, I've got a good shot at making money. That is why I trust Clostrix. It gives my calves the protection they need until their own immune systems kick in.
calf raisers trust Colostrix colostrum supplements. Colostrix is USDA licensed and proven effective. When your money is on the line, trust Colostrix.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Hey folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan here. And you know, when you start to look at this, is the old Ralgro gun, and I still don't think anybody's ever invented a gun for steroid implants better than these. They're short needled and good, strong, sturdy handle, and something that, I mean, since I was in high school working with my dad and granddad working cattle, this is one of those things that using this type of gun has just been real handy, but all the guns work good. I just had just to show the example of how small a steroid implant dosage is when we give to even a 1,500-pound animal like I got standing behind me, and you know, the cartridges that the steroid implants come in, you can see right here is a Ralgro cartridge. We're going to put that Ralgro cartridge right there in that gun. We'll have a needle. And then we're going to move over here to the animal to where we would show how we demonstrate applying the steroid implants. So the steroid implants here in this gun, we'll just slide this underneath the needle. We're going to then depress and remove it, and the implant would be placed in the ear. Obviously, when we start to think about some of the things that we do, this is a very simple procedure, but it's one that can cost us a lot of money if we don't do it correctly. When we look at reports like what I have here from the University of Nebraska or from the biggest problems that we have today with improper implantation, number one is abscess, number two is bunching. And when you get a bunched abscess is if you have your finger in front or if you put the needle up against the cartilage of the ear and depress it, it will actually mash that steroid implant into the cartilage or into your finger, and it'll bunch it up and it won't pay out correctly. Crushed implants. A lot of time the crushed implants are due to a malfunction of the gun. Make sure that the depressor or the dislodger of the implant is not caught within the needle crushing it. Missed implants. This is sometimes, if you get a brand new needle, you might want to make sure if you have one wind up on your boot that you haven't gone clear through the ear, that you back up and that you slide that subcutaneously. A pellet missing or walling off. When you have an implant that's walled off, basically what probably happened was you got an inflammation similar to a small abscess. Then the defense mechanism of the body is to wall that foreign body off, and you'll wall the steroid implant off. And then the last one is putting it in the cartilage, and that's simply just putting the steroid implant into that cartilage. You want to come back about a month after you've run the cattle through the chute, or if you have cattle coming in for a re-implant, or even at slaughter, you can go in and check your implants. And all I'll do is I'll just come in and just feel the back of the ear, and you can feel whether or not you have an abscess, whether that implant was placed in the cartilage, whether or not that implant was bunched, or worse, missing. The worst implant abnormality that I find is missing. Even if it's abscessed, even if it's bunched, even if it's in the cartilage, we'll still get some growth promotion out of those steroid implants. It's not ideal and it's not the best performance, but you'll still get some performance. But if that implant's missing, then we have a problem. Sometimes we'll get an abscess and the abscess will open up and the steroid implant pellets will come out. So make sure you keep the ear clean. Make sure you get the dirt and manure caked, taken off of there. Use good implanting technique and you'll wind up with a satisfactory product and good performance.
Did you know long-range planning through the checkoff can help keep your business profitable? To successfully pass on cattle operations from one generation to the next, it's important to promote beef and keep farms and ranches profitable. Your beef checkoff helps do that.
My family owns and operates Empire Dairy here in Wiggins, Colorado. My father-in-law, Jack Denige, he came here from Portugal, and he has a long history of milking cows in his family, and they started milking in the United States in 1989. My husband Norm and my brother-in-law Bill, a partner in the dairy. And you don't normally think about maybe the beef checkoff when you're a dairy producer, but there's certainly a lot that the checkoff does for dairy producers. We're about 20% of the beef supply. So beef quality assurance has helped dairy producers by giving us some new tools and some new perspectives about things that we do on the dairy and how that translates into a beef carcass at the end of their life cycle. So some things that we talk about are injection site, loading and handling procedures to minimize bruising and we want to keep that animal in the best condition possible, not only for the health and welfare of the cow, but at the end of its production cycle, we want to produce a quality product that we can enter into the beef supply. At the end of the day, the more successful operation you can have, the better chance you give your kids to be able to carry on and continue in this industry. Norm and I have 3 kids that we hope someday will want to come back and take care of these cows and take care of this land.
Still using ineffective fly tags on your cattle? It's time to eliminate fleas, ticks, flies, lice, and parasites, and at the same time, give them a shiny coat, making them more valuable. One fly tag can cost $2.50, but you can do this all for about a nickel a head. Introducing the Cow Sprayer, designed and built in the U.S. The Cow Sprayer is portable, solar-powered, and comes with a 25 or 40-gallon tank. Eliminate parasites for about 5 cents a head with the Cow Sprayer. Cowsprayer.com.
It's easy to spot the man who uses Synanthic. With lower volume and less waste, Synanthic steps up your deworming routine. Get more deworming with less dewormer at Synanthic.com.
Beringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Inc. knows the importance of beef quality assurance and asks you to step up and get certified. Go to bqa.org for details.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Folks, welcome back to DocTalk. Hope you've enjoyed the show. I'm sure that she has. As we're talking about steroid implants and utilization, one of the questions I get from producers is, what kind of steroid implant program should I use? And the first question I have to ask you is, what is your goal? If your goal is to produce the highest quality carcass, meaning the highest marbling grade, the highest USDA grade choice, then and you don't care about performance or feed efficiency, then my answer is don't use a steroid implant. If you say, I don't care about carcass quality, I just want to have the most efficient growth rate in the animals that I can possibly have, and I don't care if I have low marbling or decrease my quality grade, then I would pick a very aggressive steroid implant strategy. For the most part, we wind up being somewhere in between. When we're looking at feeder steers that are coming in, my recommendation is if they weigh 700 pounds or less, then we're going to use 2 steroid implants while they're on feed for 180 days or however long they're going to be on feed. And I would start out with a medium potency implant, something that is going to be, and we have a list here of the medium potency implants. And then 100 days prior to slaughter, I would come in with a terminal or high potency implant, which here is again the list of the high potency implants that are on the market. It's really important that we have that 100-day gap between the terminal implant and slaughter so that we can maximize feed efficiency and growth without impairing our quality grade or impairing the carcass quality. So heifers, similar concept, we just have a 100-pound different break. We'll use a 600 pounds. If they weigh 600 pounds or less, they'll get 2 steroid implants, a medium potency implant up front, and then a terminal implant or high potency implant 100 days prior to slaughter. If steers weigh over 700 pounds or heifers weigh over 600 pounds coming into the feedlot, then I'm just going to use 1 terminal implant at the time of processing on arrival. and that'll give me maximum performance without having a negative impact on carcass quality. Steroid implants are a great tool. I'm glad that we have them. They're a safe tool. We've been using them since the 1950s. It's something that we need to continue to use in a responsible manner. Thanks for watching DocTalk. Remember, always work with your local practitioner. And when it comes to steroid implants, you might want to get that nutritionist involved, and you might want to talk to your county extension specialist. If you want to know more about DocTalk or find us on the web, you can find us at www.doctalktv.com. Thanks for watching DocTalk today. I'm glad that you spent your day, your afternoon, your morning with us. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson from Kansas State University, and I'll see you down the road.
Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com. DocTalk was brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals.